This is it. It's been 4 years of excruciating work. Just getting these sculptures to the National Gallery has been painful, but they've made it safely, I'm glad to say, and they're looking incredibly beautiful downstairs and very powerful. There are some really shocking sculptures in this show, and people don't like to look at death in the face. These sculptures do, and they're not embarrassed to do so. I suppose what really inspired me was the challenge, the fact that it hadn't been done before. I now understand why it hasn't been done before, because it's bloody difficult to get these things out of Spain, and people are emotionally attached to sculpture. Sculpture is for some reason pushed aside, and that's probably because it's still being used for devotional purposes. It's still considered religious art. I want these sculptures to be taken off their altars. I've done it on purpose. I want them to be admired as works of art. So this exhibition is not only reappreciating this lost art form and the art of polychromy, it's called, the art of painting these sculptures, but also show how painting looked at sculpture and took the sculptural form and put it into their paintings. This is one of the really good pieces that we've managed to get of the Immaculate Conception, and it's by Juan Martínez Montañés, who is actually known as the god of wood because he was so dexterous with his chisel. He just carved away at incredible speed. And this is a Spanish technique called estofado, where they would cover it with gold, paint it, and then scratch away to bring the gold back out in order to sort of simulate embroidery. Originally, this sculpture was quite high up on top of an altar, probably in a niche. And it would have been surrounded by candles, incense, so you can sort of see the smoke billowing around it. She's actually looking down at you, and indeed when you do kneel in front of her, there's this incredible moment where suddenly your eyes are aligned with hers, and boom, she's there with you. These sculptures had a profound influence on young artists, and that's why we've put right next to this sculpture Velázquez's painting of the Immaculate Conception. Rather than using incense, he uses paint in order to simulate the clouds. Originally the mantle here went across and sort of billowed in the wind, and I think Velázquez just got rid of it and painted it straight down, and in doing so he creates this fantastic vertical line and makes it look like a sculpture. This sculpture was made by Montañés, but actually the only thing that's been carved are the hands and the head, and then they would have put real fabric on top. What's so fantastic is the actual carving, and more to the point, the polychromy. It is like a makeup person. When you want to emphasize your high cheekbones, whatever, you will add a bit of shadowing. Sculptors were basically responsible for carving an image from the wood and then covering it with gesso, which is a white layer of chalk. And then they were strictly not allowed to paint them. That was because of the guild system. And of course, for sculptors, this was really frustrating. They couldn't actually see their sculptures finished by them, and that caused a lot of friction. But later on, there are some sculptors who, as a way of defying the painter's role, add glass and ivory teeth in order to make them even more real. This is very much the climax of the show, the crucifixion, the moment of Christ's sacrifice on the cross, the trickling blood from the crown of thorns. You can see that this body has been battered and violently treated. He's been stretched out like this, and you can feel the tautness of his muscles, and you can still see that the veins, they're still full of blood, but they're slowly draining down towards his feet, and particularly with this nail that's just gone straight into the feet. That is the kind of realism that Spanish sculptors and painters just went for. They wanted you to be there. Yes, it will shock people, but this is why these sculptures were made. They were meant to shock the senses and stir the soul and wake you up, basically, and sculpture really does that.